Hey everyone, I am T-Rex and today I'm doing my review for the series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I did a first impressions a while back, so you can go check that out, but this is the whole thing, baby, the whole review. There won't be any major spoilers in this, by the way. So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a TV series by Marvel Studios, and after the blip, many people have been left in a terrible living conditions, so a new group rises up called the Flag Smashers, leading to Falcon and Winter Soldier getting involved and seeing if they are actually fighting for the right cause. So first, the narrative I thought was really intriguing because we had a new group that felt oppressed. I thought that could be really interesting, and at first it was because you didn't know that much about them. But the more we learned about them, they weren't these villains that were scary or dangerous. They really tried to make you sympathize here, but it really just made the villains feel weak instead of these super strong and scary terrorists that are dangerous. It makes you lose all tension in the show because there isn't a threat. You know why the Joker works in The Dark Knight? It's because we see him kill people without remorse, and he's a loose cannon. I think we see like 3 people die from the Flag Smashers. That makes the narrative not that interesting because we're not that scared of a terrorist group. The narrative is kind of fun because we get to see Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they're great, go after these terrorists, but man, the tension in these fights just isn't that great because we just know that nothing's really gonna happen that's that bad, and that really kills the pacing because we're not looking forward to new scenes because we're just not that interested.
Is he asleep?
No. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
So plot lines here are dropped and picked up randomly whenever the show feels like it. We'll see one person in episode 1 and then randomly they'll show up again in episode 5 without any mention. But there are some great side narratives here, but even like that, they are dropped and randomly picked up, so the great side narratives aren't even fully developed here. The narratives just don't really flow together. This show, narrative-wise, is kind of all over the place. The main narrative isn't super compelling, and then we randomly cut back to either a super interesting narrative or cut back to a side plot that really isn't interesting at all. I just don't think the story really coherently flows in a smooth pace. That said though, these episodes have great moments. There are these amazing scenes and fights that really punch above its weight. The individual fights and action scenes I thought were very well done. This show knows how to frame and shoot action, and it is great. It's the lack of tension from the villain's side that really makes these fights feel a lot more style over substance. And the action here is incredible, especially on a TV budget. The TV budget here is a lot higher than a lot of other TV budgets. So you might be thinking that I honestly hated this show, but I didn't, because honestly the show is saved by the characters. Falcon and Winter Soldier are great with fantastic chemistry, and this show really is able to flesh the two of them out. Sebastian Stan gives a fantastic performance, and in the finale we really need Anthony Mackie to give a good performance, and he does. Now there are other returning characters such as Sharon Carter, who was fine. I didn't really think she was great, but she was fine. Baron Zemo is a returning character, and here he gets to do a lot more, and when he is here I thought he was great, but I think he was wasted a bit. He does not have a major influence in this show, and I think he should have been a bigger player. Easily he is one of the most interesting characters, so it's a shame that we don't get to see him that much. It kinda sucks. Also, Carly Morgenthau is a new character, and she is so forgettable and not threatening or interesting at all as a villain, but there are new characters though that are great, like Isaiah. He adds a lot and gives the show some great questions, and he is great at driving Sam in this show. And the character who stood out the most to me was John Walker, or the new Captain America. He is so interesting, and the things he does are so thought-provoking, and his character is not like one we have seen before in the MCU. I think he makes the show have these really interesting questions, as he's just such a unique character. Now, this kind of leads into the directing, and this was directed by Carrie Scogwin through all 6 episodes, and I think she did a great job of introducing these really interesting questions. But as a director, she also has to make sure we have a good tone and style throughout the entire thing, and I think that the tone and pace just don't work as well. We have these super deep and interesting questions, but then we can't keep up the pace because some side stories just slow down the most interesting parts, and it takes so long for us to answer these questions. I wish the show would have just cut down the runtime of each episode. The only episode that really felt like it deserved its runtime was episode 3. The others felt way too long with too many side stories and just too much things going on. There's a lot of great stuff here, it's just that we don't get to see it, and the show isn't as consistent as I would want it to be. Weirdly, a lot of the problems I had with WandaVision I also had with this show. This show felt way too long, and the most interesting things that are here just don't get prioritized, and instead we get way too many side plots that are just kind of lame. That said though, the characters here are fantastic. Falcon, Winter Soldier, Baron Zemo, and John Walker are truly great, and really bring this show together, as their narratives are really super interesting and their goals are great as well. It's just the weak villains and lack of tension that really holds the show back from being great, which I honestly believe it could have been. I said in my first impressions that this could be great if they don't run out of steam at the end, and sadly I kind of think they did. That said though, it was a fun time, but not a perfect show. I'm going to give Falcon and the Winter Soldier the same rating I give to WandaVision. It had really great moments, but it just wasn't as consistent as I overall want it to be. I'm going to say that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is good. But what are your thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I would love to hear them down below. Anyways, if you like this video and you want to see more in the future, you can subscribe. Tomorrow I'm going to be reviewing a game that really made me feel like Falcon. Anyways, joking aside, I will be reviewing the VR shooter Population 1 tomorrow, and when that comes out, I'll see you then. Bye.